Hello and welcome to the latest podcast. I am your host, JP John Paz. Of course, joining me is the former WWF and WCW head writer, former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, what's going on?
Bro, why are we almost in July and you're wearing a sweatshirt, John? What are you wearing a sweatshirt for, bro?
My house is so weird. My office is in my basement. It's a decent
Right?
sized basement. For some reason, it is freezing
Yeah.
down here.
Bro,
Absolutely freezing.
that happens to me too. This office is in my basement, and my wife upstairs cranks up the AC, and I'm freezing my ass off down here, bro. All the time, man.
Oh,
All the time.
I literally have a space heater for the summer because
Yeah.
it
I
gets
got I
because
got
she
what
puts it
we
on so high.
Bro, I got a space heater under this desk, right on my feet.
Nice.
There's a little heater right under the
Yeah.
desk. Yes.
And my wife's always like, "Did you change it?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like I want it to be a little bit higher in the basement. Oh no, it's too warm up here. So she makes it really cold upstairs, and it's freezing in the basement here in my
Bro, we
office.
have that same conversation every day. The same conversation every day. I swear to God, bro.
And then when she goes to bed, I'm watching TV, I'm watching Amazon Prime or whatever. I lower it. It's got to be a little bit warmer. I mean,
I
geez.
do the same thing. And then she wakes up in the morning and she sees where it's at, and I get yelled at.
Yes, that actually
Yes.
happened
I
yesterday.
swear to God,
Yes,
bro.
yes.
I swear to God, like I go through that same shit every single day.
Crazy, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. But as far as topic today, we're going back to 1999, the era of Russo, the Attitude Era, where you were at your prime, if you will, with the ratings. We've talked about May of 99 before and how the highest ratings ever in the history of wrestling. You had 10 million people watching Raw at one point. So today we're talking about Over the Edge 1999, which was on May 23rd. Kansas City, Missouri, from the Kemper Arena, almost 16,500 attendance. The pay-per-view buy rate, huge, 430K for just another house
Yeah.
show. I mean, another pay-per-view, if you will, not what, excuse me, not one of the big four, not one of the big five. Crazy
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. That is huge for the time. Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about this a few weeks ago, the passing of Owen Hart. We won't go into that too much on this show because there's a whole episode dedicated to Owen and this this event at the pay-per-view, which is
Bro,
worst.
bro, let's talk about that a little because
Okay,
I,
yeah,
I, I think that's very interesting. Bro, I walked into the building that day. Okay. Bro, they were going to do a regular episode of Raw and not even address Owen's death.
crazy.
Okay.
Yep.
I called Vince and Kevin Dunn in a room. Bro, I broke down and I was crying. And I said to Vince and Kevin, bro, if this is just another wrestling show, I said, I'm going home. I said, I'm leaving right now if this is going to just be another wrestling show. Crying. I mean, literally in tears. And that's when, Vince and Kevin, they made it the tribute show that it was. I swear, John, to this day, I've not seen that show. I can't watch that show. I have not seen that show to this day.
It's a rough watch. I mean, a lot of people watched it. It was a 7.2 rating for that Raw. I mean, for the tribute show. So,
Yeah.
I mean, millions and millions of people, almost 10 million people watched it. So,
Yeah.
absolutely insane. But man, it's a rough
I couldn't
watch.
watch it. I couldn't be a part of it. They wanted me to go in there. I said, nope, I can't do it. And to this day, I've never watched the show. But yeah, bro, typical WWE, man. They wanted to go on business as usual. I'm like, are you guys out of your freaking minds? Like, seriously, man. And that's when they went the way that they did.
For the tribute show. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, that would have been very weird just to go, oh, hey, Undertaker's the champion. And here we go with
Yeah.
Raw. Like, weird.
Exactly. Right. That's what I said. Right.
How do you feel that the show Over the Edge itself was never really released on pay-per-view? That,
Oh,
they shouldn't, or?
wait. So what do you mean it was? What
I mean,
do you mean?
on home video, on
Yeah.
VHS or on DVD
Bro,
or whatever.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know that. But yeah, I agree with that choice 1,000%. Yeah, I mean it should not be. I agree with that 1,000%. Bro, I am one of the defenders of, Vince continuing the show, because this is
Really?
what I'll tell you why, John. John, nobody was in their right mind after that happened. It's kind of like, remember the movie The Stepford Wives?
Yeah.
It was like everybody was just going through the motions out of routine and habit, but it's like we had no brains. Like I can't explain to you the utter shock, and we couldn't comprehend it, bro. Everybody was that way backstage. So for Vince McMahon to have to make a decision, bro, Vince was not in his right mind. For, Vince's bravado and, how he could be a dick at times and shit, bro, the dude was not in his right mind. If he would have had 24 hours to think about it, bro, when he had to make a call on the spot and a decision on the spot, I don't point the finger at him. Oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. Bro, nobody was in their right mind after that happened. Nobody.
When that's going on, nobody's saying, "Hey, let's just stop the show," or
No,
nobody
hell,
even
bro.
thinking.
We're trying to comprehend. I remember, bro. I remember freaking Shane McMahon, whispering in my ear, "Vince, he's gone." That's all he said. I Bro, I went numb. Like my mind stopped working. Like, this is incomprehensible. Like, I can't. I've never ever felt that way in my life, bro. It's like, when I got to my hotel room that night, bro, I broke down because it took a couple of hours to set in. But in that moment, I couldn't even process what was happening.
Ooh, crazy. So many people, after the fact said Vince should have canceled the show. He should have issued refunds, should have sent everybody home. But I mean, the hindsight is 2020, obviously. I mean, that's
Yeah,
a
and of course, bro,
thinking
and it
after
was
the
it
fact.
wasn't about money. It wasn't about, oh yeah, bro, Vince didn't want to refund people money, because that had nothing to do with it whatsoever. But I don't think in that situation, I don't think anybody could have made a rational decision, bro. I really don't.
And it's crazy, like how it happens. Obviously, the incident happens, but later on, you guys, it's not like right away you find out he passed away. I mean, assuming he did, but later on, then there's 2 matches left, and it's almost like, okay, what do we do now? Like, do you cancel the show? It's I mean, hard. I mean, it's possible to be in that spot. I mean, what an insane thing to have happened at a wrestling
Insane,
show.
bro. I can never put into words how the feeling was at the building when that happened. I can't. That's a once in a lifetime thing, bro. Like, I know I'll never experience anything like that in my life again.
You know what's insane to me, like business wise, it didn't affect WWF. I was like, you know what I mean? Like the ratings, it didn't affect. It was weird. It was almost like everybody kind of accepted, oh, it was an accident. It happened. It should never have happened. But then the fans just kept watching, and it kept getting more popular and more popular. Did that surprise you at all? That it didn't affect the audience, like one iota?
Bro, when I look at times of just how bad the product gets and the diehards still watch it every week. You,
Yeah.
you, you know what I'm saying, bro? So like that really doesn't surprise me, bro, because I can't even explain that, because you and I talk about this all the time, man. When the New York Giants start shitting the bed, you're cutting every promo in the world, bro. I know me with the San Francisco Giants, bro. If they freaking blow a game, okay, and I am so pissed off after that game, bro, I may not watch the next 2-3 games. Like, I may say I am so pissed off and so aggravated, I'm like, I need to take a break from them, and I literally may miss a couple of games. But with those fans, bro, no matter what's on that show, they're back next week.
Yeah. Even if there was a death in the ring, I mean, people, I mean, they're still going to watch.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, as far as just some housekeeping, this is the second annual Over the Edge in May. Obviously, the other one, 98, Over the Edge, already covered. But the first pay per view under the non in your house label. How do you remember it
Bro,
used to be in your house in the pay per view?
yeah,
This is the
bro,
first one without it that isn't one of the big five.
did they continue the name Over the Edge after this?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, because I don't know, but they definitely shouldn't have done that either. Okay, cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
no,
cool.
no. Just another thing to mention: the Hart family did sue, of course, the WWF. They got about $18 million in settlement, and we see it today. Owen Hart has nothing to do with WWE, WWF whatsoever. For some reason, it has something to do with AEW, and they're doing a tournament dedicated to him, even though he would have no idea who AEW is. He would have no idea. But it's interesting that they have a better relationship with Owen's family than WWE.
Bro, that's the one thing I don't understand, John. Maybe you can give me some insight into this, bro. I get the lawsuit. I understand all that, bro. I understand all that. Here's the part I don't understand. How does the way Owen died tragically? How does that affect him not getting into the Hall of Fame? I don't. That's the part I don't
I don't
understand.
know.
What? Why should that? Do they not want to remind people what happened, bro? What happened was an accident, and the company, the company responsible. They weren't It wasn't the WWE, bro. It was a third party. It was the people that were doing the Sting stuff at WCW. They weren't even a part of WWE. So it clearly a horrible, horrific accident. I don't know what that has to do with not putting Owen in the Hall of Fame.
I'm not sure if Martha turned it down or not. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I know they want nothing to do with WWE. It seems like whatsoever. So I'm not sure if it's WWE's fault or Martha's fault. But obviously, I
Yeah.
mean, he should be in automatic. I mean, it's insane that he
So,
isn't.
so, bro, even though, lawsuits, money wise, this, that, and the other thing, even though all that was settled with Martha, uh, the relationship was always soured.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She blames them. So yeah,
Yeah.
just absolutely hates them with a passion, which is probably easy for AEW to kind of swoop in and like, hey, we'll
Of
do something
course.
for Owen and get to do.
And
Yeah.
that's so Tony Khan. I mean, that is so Tony Khan's MO, bro.
Did you
But you know
hear
what?
the?
I'm glad about bro, I have not watched AEW in 3 years. But I go online to see what's going on. I'm happy for Jeff that that's happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? I could, Jeff's
Yeah.
in that tournament. From what I'm
Yep.
seeing, bro, it means a lot to him. That's a cool thing. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, it was a great promo. That was cool
Yeah.
because you could tell. I mean, he was best buddies with the guy, so
Yeah,
obviously, I mean,
I didn't
very
I
very
didn't
close.
watch the promo, bro, because I can't watch stuff. I just can't watch.
Yeah,
I can't
he
watch
gets
stuff
a
like that.
he gets
But
a bit emotional. You could tell,
yeah,
very,
that's
very
why I
real, very
can't. I
genuine. Yeah.
can't. That I can't watch that stuff.
Just a quick question. I wanted to ask you this because I thought this was hilarious. Did the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, did we never have good weather during that era? Did we ever have good weather? Like where it's the summertime and there's good weather, but
Oh
people are
yeah.
watching wrestling?
Well, bro, listen. What's the Friday night show on AEW? What is it?
Rampage.
Okay, the ramp. You know why the Rampage numbers are going to be low tonight, bro? You know why?
Good weather.
No, no. There was a political debate last night. So
Oh,
because it was so close to Rampage, bro, people are going to tune out of Rampage tonight because of the political debate. Bro, they're ridiculous with the freaking excuses. You guys got to stop. You have to stop. Bro, there is no excuse. If people are watching something other than your product, that's because that's drawing them and you're not. Melton could sit there all day long and talk about the lead in and this was on and that was on. Bro, they're watching other shit because they think it's better than your product. There's no excuses. Vince McMahon made it real simple to me. If it's good, they'll watch it. Period. That's it.
I love that though. It's good weather in the Northeast, so that's a huge problem for wrestling.
Unbelievable,
So
bro.
bad, so bad.
Unreal. Unbelievable.
So as far as Over the Edge is concerned, before the show starts, they have this little, package, this little news concerning Vince McMahon. He was injured. There, you guys are saying he's injured in a match with Midian. So him and Shane are supposed to be the referees later on with Austin versus Undertaker in the main event. But Vince injured himself in a match. So obviously that, and he won't be able to referee later. So that's a little bit of a swerve, bro, as you like to say, right? I mean, a
Right.
little bit of a tease with what's going on storyline wise. He's really not injured. He's up to something. We don't
Right.
trust Vince.
You can't trust Vince at all. He's always up to something, which is the draw because he's up to something, but you don't know what he's up to.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's the draw, bro.
So um, that obviously happens on Sunday Heat, which I'll quickly run through the results here. So Meat, which is Sean Stasiak with Jacqueline, Ryan Shamrock, and Terry Reynolds, defeated Brian Christopher with Scott Taylor in 2 minutes. Then the Hardy Boys with Michael Hayes defeated the Blue Meanie and Goldust in 6 minutes. And then here we go with the Vince news. Midian with Big Boss Man, Bradshaw, Farouk, and Viscera fought Vince McMahon with Patterson and Briscoe. It ended in a no contest in 3 minutes. Vince is injured. So that's the storyline
Right.
going in here. So
Right.
interesting stuff. I love that the Hardy Boys are getting the win over Goldust and Meanie there on Heat, but obviously means nothing. But it just gets you in and watching the pay per view, which is obviously what the design of the show is for. Now, before I go into the first match, just had a question for you because I was reading this online and I never heard this before.
Okay.
Kane and X Pac versus D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry for the tag team championship, right? A few people online have saw put that Kane, X Pac, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry were four of Vince Russo's favorite guys. Is that true? I'd never heard that before.
Tell me who the four are again.
Kane, X Pac, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry. Those are four of your
No,
favorites.
absolutely not.
I was gonna say these people just make up whatever, like four of his
Bro,
favorite guys.
like absolutely not. Like, I mean, I don't even know where they get it. So X Pac, Mark Henry, D'Lo, and
And
Kane.
Kane. Yep.
No,
Four of your favorites.
no,
I just was reading that. I was like, I gotta
that's
ask him
weird.
this because that
That's
sounds
really weird.
crazy.
That's really weird, bro. Really weird.
So Kane and X Pac, the tag team champions. By the way, Mark Henry gives, or excuse me, D'Lo Brown gives Mark Henry a little present, Ivory. So they're going away from Sammy, who was the transsexual. They're
Right.
going away from Sammy and Mark Henry, and he gives them Ivory. What's the thoughts behind that?
I
You're done with
remember that,
Sammy
bro.
and Ivory's back?
Ivory, bro. I'm just John, I'm just texting my wife because she flew to Atlanta to see my son by herself because I couldn't go. So she's just telling me she got there all right and everything.
Nice.
Let me just tell her. Cool. Bro, Ivory was supposed to be a one and done. She was never auditioning for a part. She was like an extra, right? So she comes in, bro, and she does something, and I notice like right away, like, wait a minute, like she's good, right? And then somebody smartened me up about the glow stuff. Bro, when I heard that, I was such a mark for Glow, bro. Like, I loved freaking Glow. When I heard that, I was like, no, bro, she's here to stay. And that's why, she became a full-time, player on the roster. But yeah, bro, she was just supposed to be a one and done.
What about Sammy, the transsexual that
Bro,
Mark
that I
Henry
don't
was
even
with? What was
I
that
swear
about?
to God, I don't even remember how that came about. That I honestly don't, bro. But I do remember when I saw Ivory, I was like, I fell in love with her.
You think that was possibly a rib on Mark Henry? See how he would react?
Probably, yeah, yeah. Because I don't even really remember that, bro. To be honest.
Is that normal behavior though? Let's pull a rib on this guy on TV and see
Oh,
how he
bro, they, they
reacts.
they do it to this day. I see it. I know when they're doing it, bro. I can see it. I know it. They still do it to this day, bro. That's
So
wrestling,
Kane
man.
and X Pac. Yeah, oh yeah. So Kane and X Pac get the victory over D'Lo and Mark Henry. Match goes almost 15 minutes. So long opener here, but it is actually pretty good. X-Pac and
Yeah.
D'Lo Brown handle a lot of the action. Obviously, those two are great, but Kane and X-Pac retain their tag team championship. What do you think about that 15-minute opener?
Bro, I gotta tell you, man, I just watched an episode of Raw. Um, it was D'Lo and X Pac for the European Championship. Bro, I cannot believe how important the European Championship was. Those guys made that belt really, really, really mean something. And they had freaking great matches around the European title, bro. And they really made that belt special. So, yeah, bro, when you're telling me the two of them are in that mat in the ring and, they're tagging in Mark Henry and Kane, just for the spots. Oh, yeah, bro. That's got the makeup to be a great match. That does not surprise me at all.
It is interesting with X-Pac because he's always, I know, he's always like in the thick of things, and people don't maybe bring him up enough, or they don't
I
talk about him
agree.
maybe as much as they should. Because if you look at it, DX, okay, Triple H, he's kind of floundering. Let's be honest, he was kind of floundering. They're winning the King of the Ring, doesn't really help. Foley puts him over huge, doesn't really help. Like he and Michaels is trying to help him a little bit, but as soon as he gets the former NWO member and Sean Waltman into DX, he's over like rocket busters. To me, like the crowd was really responding to him. He doesn't get enough credit.
No, he doesn't. I agree with you 1000%, bro. Bro, I still say it to this day. That promo Sean Waltman cut when he came over, that's one of the best promos I ever saw. I mean, his feeling and his emotion and his fire. I didn't give him that freaking promo. That was all based on where he was at the time and what he was feeling at the time. One of the best promos, bro, I ever witnessed in my life.
So good. And remember on the other channel, Hogan said he couldn't cut the mustard, brother. So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
he's going to take a shot back at Hogan for ripping him
yeah, yeah.
for no reason,
That's
basically.
your boy, Hogan, bro. That's your boy, man. That's your buddy.
Man, and Nash and Hall, I mean, always say, but Nash even lately always says he's like, man, he goes, we lost X-Pac. I feel like the NWO lost a ton of momentum.
They did, bro. He was fire, man. He was fire. He was cool, bro. Come on, bro. Like, look at X Pac and look at the rosters today. That's cool, bro. That's cool. He was as cool can get, bro.
And he would be considered big today. Back then, he was
Oh,
small.
huge.
At 6'1", he's considered
Yeah,
small, but he
yeah,
would be big
yeah.
today.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ever any thought of giving him like a bigger push, the title, or is he more of that like he can kind of float between main event and
Yeah,
like mid card
yeah,
kind of guy?
yeah, just that. But again, bro, like if I was working with today's rosters, it would be a much different story. But I mean, when you got Kane, Taker, Rock, Austin, Mick, it's hard to crack that, bro.
He was in world title match, especially when The Rock first wins the title. He's in world title matches. The crowd is super into it, but he's never going to win the title. He's one of those guys. He's going to come close, going to
Right,
give him good TV title match or something, or if UK pay per view, he's going to have a good match, but not necessarily going to be the world champion.
right, exactly. Yep.
Next up, we have your boy Al Snow, who's the hardcore champion with Head versus Hardcore Holly for the WWF
Wow.
Hardcore Championship. Again, these two are involved in a bitter rivalry here. I love the Hardcore Holly big shot gimmick. Did you love that he thinks he's a big shot? He thinks he's bigger than what he is. Do you love that gimmick?
It's Bob Holly, right?
Yeah, yeah, Hardcore
Oh
Holly. Yeah.
yeah, bro, he was great. And bro, that's the thing, man, that I think we're missing. So many guys, I think we talked about this the last show, John. So many guys back then were the real deal. Like
Oh
Bob
yeah.
Holly was the real legitimate deal. Like Al talks about, man, he loved his matches with Holly, but he just talks about like, it was stiff, man. It was that's just the way that Bob Holly worked. But working that way, bro, everything he did just looked very, very, very real. Bro, how come nobody hears from him anymore? Does he do interviews or anything?
He hasn't done anything in a while. Actually, it's funny. Dr. Tom tried to reach out to him, and I tried to reach out to him, and nobody's heard from him. He hasn't written back in a while. I haven't talked to him, so
Wow. Because
I
I
don't think
would
he
just,
does
I would
anything
love,
anymore.
I would love to see what he looks like today, what he's doing today. I would love to get an update on him.
Yeah, the last time I talked to him was a couple years ago. He wanted to try out for that show Alone, where they like put you out in the middle of nowhere alone, and you get to have like one weapon. I guess you could probably just have a knife. And
Yeah.
basically, he wanted to do that, and I guess he sent a video to the producer, but I guess he never got selected. I mean,
Oh
former
wow.
wrestler on TV for years, they
Yeah.
should have put him on the show. It doesn't make sense
Yeah.
why they didn't pick
He
him.
should have. He should have. Well, he probably didn't want to try to get help from the WWE, but that would have
Ooh.
probably helped him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So, do you like these hardcore matches? Are you for these
Oh
hardcore
yeah,
matches?
I
What did you
do.
think about the hardcore title?
I'm a fan of them, bro, but not for the violence, like for the creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, bro, I'm not a blood and guts type of guy, but using creative different types of weapons, like the Norman Smiley stuff at WCW. Like I like that stuff, bro, because it now it's not just a match, it's a spectacle, bro. And anything spectacle, casual fans are going to be interested in.
When you look at this, is this like making fun of ECW, or is this just par for the
No,
course?
not
Does
at all.
anything do with ECW as far as the hardcore title?
No, bro, they're laying out the match. Those guys are laying out the match, not me, but absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
So Al Snow with head, very important to mention that he gets the victory in 13 minutes. So longer match here, but it is pretty good. He power bombs Hardcore Holly through a table and gets the pinfall victory there. With Al Snow in the hardcore title, is that just supposed to be mid card? Is that supposed to be elevated? Like, because I mean, they're
Not really.
getting a lot of time on the pay per view.
Yeah, not really, bro. Just, again, bro, I swear to God, I did this a million times. If you've got anything other than a straight up wrestling match, if it's a hardcore match, if it's a pole match, if it's a ladder match, if it's a fight in the dressing room, if it's a fight outside, bro, all those things draw higher numbers than a typical wrestling match. And it's real easy to understand, bro, because if you're flipping through channels and you're not a wrestling fan and guys are in the ring wrestling, you're not going to stop and watch it. If you're flipping through channels and guys are fighting in the parking lot or guys are hitting themselves with weapons, in the mind of, like casual fans, that's not a wrestling match. It's something different. And they will stop and watch that. So that's why I did a lot of that stuff, because the numbers backed up. That would always supersede a straight up wrestling match all the time, bro. Or the girls fighting in the locker room, all the time, that would supersede a regular straight up match.
So next up is obviously where the tragedy strikes. Insane thing. There's a pre-tape for Blazer. Then Jim Ross says we got problems out here. Basically tells us that Owen fell. As a fan, we have no idea if it's a script, not script, but JR is very serious, and you could tell something happened. But as a fan, you're watching it, you have no clue what's going on. So that's all he says is basically we got problems out here. He explains it's not part of the show and that Owen fell. Doesn't say how fatal, or he doesn't say anything. He just says that, and it's almost just like he's got to keep going with the show. Is that just basically scrambling? It's supposed to be Owen versus Godfather, and then all of a sudden now we've got Jarrett and Deborah versus Val Venus and Nicole Bass coming up.
Yeah, bro, I've never watched that. I've never seen it. I've never seen JR's response. I've never seen Lola. I've never watched any of that. But that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, how do they're obviously talking to JR in the headsets,
Yeah.
but how do you
Yep.
like bro, I don't even know what I would do in that situation. I don't even know what I do. But thank God you got pros out there, Lawler and JR. I wouldn't even know how to handle that situation.
Oof, crazy. So they recap the Val Venus, Nicole Bass, Deborah, Jarrett storyline. Nicole Bass had an infamous weird line. It says, "I want to slide my trombone in your, or I want you to slide your trombone into my brass section." She says.
I probably wrote that too.
Who are you, Howard Stern over here? What kind of writing is this? What's
Bro,
going on?
whatchamacallit, like freaking Nicole Bass could have had a career in professional wrestling. She was just whacked out, bro. Like whatever her issue was, like she just had issues. She could have had a career in professional wrestling.
You think she was athletic enough or no?
I think so. Oh yeah, I definitely think so. She was just kooky, man. She was just kooky.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
jacked. She was
Oh
big.
yeah, God, yeah, yeah.
So Lawler joins the announce table. He basically said it doesn't look good for Owen. You see a standing ovation as obviously they're getting Owen carted off. So man, just what a
Anyway, I can't
weird
watch
and
that. Yeah, bro.
yeah,
I could never watch that.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't show that part. Thank God. They just show Lawler and Ross, but you could tell something happened. There's like a hush over the
I
arena.
swear,
Just
bro. I wish I
crazy.
don't to this day, I don't even know if Martha like knows the story from the creative end, which I wish she would know. Because the reason why I wish she would know that, bro, was, I believe, bro, like when we are born, your end date is written. God knows, okay, bro, you're going to spend this time on earth. You're going to be born on this day, and this is the day you leave and come home. I believe that with all my heart and soul. And like I said to you, bro, this was never written into the show. It was never written into the show till I got that call from Steve Taylor. I don't think Martha knows any of that, bro. That I was never what's the word? I, I was never interviewed for this lawsuit as the writer. Never. I had nothing to do with anything, bro. To this day, I don't know the findings, how much money, what they found out happened. I heard, I think it was something about his cape getting caught in some kind of a to this day, I don't know. I was never interviewed. I was never spoken to, but I wish she knew how that came about as part of the show, because like I said, bro, it was not originally written in. And I just think it would be nice for her to know like how the whole thing went down. The fact that I talked to him after he rehearsed it. um I don't think she knows any of that, bro, because they never interviewed me. They never I just never spoke to anybody about it.
The guys at Dark Side of the Ring actually do a really good job. A couple episodes on it. She actually was showing the latch. She was doing it. So I was like, oh my god, I can't believe she could like just kind of talk about it. Like I wouldn't be able to talk about it at all, like ever. But she was
So
really brave
so
and
what,
talking about it. And the latch was basically it's not strong enough to hold a 230-pound guy. It's just not. The,
so it wasn't his cape got caught in there. It was the
so
latch
she
was not
thought
strong enough.
maybe so Latch wasn't strong enough, but she thought maybe he might have done something like adjusting his cape or something. So it might have been like a combination of both. But she was showing the latch; it just didn't look like it was kind of strong enough to hold him, like
That's
coming
crazy.
down,
That's crazy,
which
bro.
is insane. Because think about how many times Sting has done something like that. So it's like,
Bro,
holy crap!
forget Sting.
Yeah.
You know how many times Gene Simmons has done that?
Oh God, yeah,
Gene Simmons has done that at every Kiss
yeah,
concert.
yeah. I saw him do it. Yep.
Bro, if you Kiss started in 1973, bro. He's done that at every Kiss. Bro, tens of thousands of times he did that without ever there being an issue, a problem. Tens of thousands of times. So yeah, bro. Like I said, man, I can't watch that stuff, bro. So like I don't really know the details, but that's sad, bro.
Oof, insane. And crazily enough, they have Jarrett have to cut a promo like right after that. So he knows kind of what's going on. Deborah and him are really upset, but they're trying to cut a promo and they send out their prayers to Owen. But it's crazy. Like they have to cut the promo. Then they have to
Yeah,
have their match. They're not ready. You could tell the match, which is Val Venus and Nicole Bass versus Deborah and Jeff in a mixed tag. You tell Deborah and Jeff want like nothing to do with it. They're not interested at all.
I,
Val's trying, but they're
bro,
just not interested.
I produced that promo because I produced all the promos back then. I remember that promo. I remember us having to shoot that promo, bro. It was horrible, man. It was horrible.
So Nicole Bass and Val Venus get the win in 6 minutes. So like a not a good match. Nothing what you expect.
Yeah.
Jarrett's out of it, like you said. Like you guys are out of it mentally.
Son is out
He's
of it.
out of it. Deborah's out of it.
Yeah.
But it's just not a good match there. Not that you kind of would expect that anyway.
Right.
But kind of the weird thing, and kind of get back to the storyline of it all. Nicole Bass gives Val Venus a kiss after the match, and Val kind of plays off that he was like that not that he didn't like it, but almost like that he did like it. It was weird. What the hell's the story here? Val
I don't
is
know,
starting
bro.
to
I
fall for
got it.
Nicole Bass.
I don't know. Maybe he's kinky. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
I would have to go back and watch it because I don't remember that.
yeah. It was weird. He almost gives like a smile, like he was like surprised by it. Weird,
Yeah.
weird stuff.
Yeah. Very weird. Yeah.
So Shane McMahon arrives to the building. They say that Vince has a broken ankle and he has to be loaded onto an ambulance and he has to leave the building. Shane basically says, "Oh, I don't know what happened. I just got here, but I'll make sure I'll call the main event right down the middle because I'm the only ref left." So it's Austin Undertaker with only Shane as the ref. So kind of teasing something there. And obviously the swerve, bro, of Vince really not being hurt, but saying he has a broken ankle.
Right. Right. Now, was this after they broke his leg? Was that this after that? Yeah, it was.
Way down the line. Yeah, way.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Next up, we have the New Age Outlaws breakup. It's Billy Gunn versus Road Dogg. Did you want to who wanted to break them up and why?
Bro, probably just because they ran their course, maybe. Like I don't remember this specifically, but I would guess that's the reason. I mean, it's like, bro, you watch the current product today, right?
Yeah,
Bro, how many decades are we gonna watch New Day? Like,
I know. Yeah,
give me a freaking break.
yeah.
Like, really, bro? Like, how many freaking New Day matches? That's probably why, bro.
It's getting out of control with the New Day. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, bro! They let so many people on that show overrun their course where they don't mean anything, bro.
This match, I mean, every match. I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah,
of par for the course of saying it, but like the Owen stuff is like kind of killing the momentum of the crowd, they're killing
yeah,
the show,
yeah,
killing momentum of the wrestlers. So Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, two of possibly the most overrated, not overrated, I'm sorry, supremely popular wrestlers of 1998, the most over guys, not over guys, period, of 1998 were probably the Outlaws. I mean, think about it. I mean, the promos, just them coming out, their matches, I mean, they were so over. But here in '99, this match kind of falls flat a little bit. I know, just not that great. Billy Gunn defeats Road Dogg in about 11 minutes. It just felt flat, and it just felt like, I don't know, something was missing. And obviously, the Owen stuff plays a big part in it, but I don't know if they were as over as they were maybe prior.
Well, I don't know. You got to ask yourself. You got to ask yourself when two close partners and two close friends are wrestling and competing. Does it fall flat, bro, because they're really not into it and they can't feel it? And the reason why I'm bringing that up, bro, is Jimmy and Jey Uso at
Yeah.
WrestleMania. It
Yep.
sounds very, very, very similar where these guys were so close, worked together so many times that when they're facing each other, bro, they're not feeling it like a baby face and a heel. They're not feeling the emotion in it. And maybe when you take that emotion out, then you got a lackluster match. Because I remember watching WrestleMania, I'm like, what? So maybe there's something to that.
Yeah, remember Hall versus Nash at Havoc '98? Match was not good. Nobody
Yeah.
wanted to see those two wrestle.
Yep.
Hell, same show, Steiner versus Steiner. I mean, just not into it. Like
Yeah.
it just didn't have good chemistry. Literally, the only off the top of my head, Brett versus Owens, the only really good brother versus brother, or like super close guys that can have a
Yeah.
good
Yeah. Yeah.
feud. They usually, for some reason, you're right. Usually, there's something. Even the fans don't really feel it. The fans
Yeah.
almost don't want
Yeah.
to see it.
And if the fans aren't behind it, then they're playing to nothing. They got nothing to play off of. It makes it even worse.
Yep. So next up, we have the Union, Big Show, Ken Shamrock, Mankind, and Test versus the corporate ministry of Big Boss Man Bradshaw, Farouk, and Viscera in an 8-man elimination match. The Union ends up getting the victory here in 15 minutes. I don't know, just nothing terrible here, but nothing great, nothing that stood out here. Again, another long match here, and I don't know the union of Big Show, Shamrock, Mankind, and Test. It just not jiving with me. I mean, it really wasn't jiving with the fans either.
I don't think, John, I just got to be honest. Like, I don't think anything after Owen was gonna be good. I mean, because at this point, I don't know if they got the news or not yet. I don't know. I mean, I
Not
remember
yet.
getting the news rather quickly, in the back. Whereas he was, I don't know, bro. Was he pronounced,
Pronounced dead after this match.
but in the ambulance or at the hospital? Do you know?
They said it was at the hospital. Pronounced dead. That's what they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, because bro, there's nothing's going to be good after this. Like these guys are pros through and through, and they competed. But how can your heart and your head be in anything?
Yep. Just a random crazy question here. Was Blue Blazer going to defeat Godfather for the Intercontinental title? You don't even remember.
That's a good question. I would say that's a really good question. I would say probably, but I
And then
don't know for
you
sure.
don't remember what the plans were or anything like that.
Nah, I mean, bro, you know me. I don't have long-term plans.
Yeah.
We just kind of go month to month.
Basically, Mankind has Boss Man submit and basically ends up winning the match for his team. But there's really nothing crazy about it. I just didn't think the union worked well. The corporate ministry, I don't think works well either. Obviously, Shane
Yeah,
combines
bro.
corporation with ministry.
When you tell me about both of those teams, like I'm not excited about both of those teams. I feel you. I'm with you, bro. I don't when I hear that, I'm like, yeah.
It's almost like you're throwing the 8 guys in, throwing a bone. Like, yeah, you're going to get the pay-per-view payoff. Hey, we're going to get you on the show. Not a strong
Yeah, I
pay-per-view
agree.
match.
I agree with that, bro. I'm not going to argue that.
Whose idea is the union? I know you watched the movie Fist with Sylvester Stallone, but whose idea is the union?
I mean, I'm sure it was me and Ed. No, at that point, nobody's coming up with the ideas but us two.
What did you think about like that collection of guys though? Just like, hey, random babyface put together? Or did you think they might have good chemistry together, or was there more
Probably
thought
just
process? Because they ends kind of quickly.
Yeah, probably just baby faces putting them together to get them on the show. That's probably it.
As a writer, do you sometimes think like, I got to get this guy on the show?
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
all the
Are you
bro, especially in TNA because they didn't get paid if they weren't on the show. So I
wow?
I I literally would get calls during the week. I can't pay my rent. I can't buy food. Literally, bro, I would get calls with guys begging to be on the show because if they weren't on the show, they didn't get paid.
Wow. And
Yeah,
here, obviously, you get the pay-per-view bump. You
yeah,
get a little bonus,
yeah,
so you want to be on the
yeah,
pay-per-views.
yeah, yeah. No, and that's what it is, bro. We're trying to get as many people, on the roster on the shows. I mean, again, it's like, you look at AEW and Tony Khan and all the people he's got, he's not even using. Like it just it's a disservice to the talent. Even though they're getting paid, it's still a disservice to the talent.
Do you think corporate ministry is just too much? Like putting two big factions together, that's
Yeah,
like overkill?
yeah, I do. Yep.
You regret doing that, looking back?
I don't regret anything, bro. Like I really don't. I don't because there was a reason at the time, and obviously I can't really remember specifics, but there was a reason at the time why we did everything. I wouldn't say, John, anything was thrown together. I don't think we threw anything together. These things were thought out and discussed. So there was a reason back then why we did it. I just can't specifically remember.
So the Union does get the big victory. They won't last long, but they get the big victory. Then, of course, JR announces that Owen has passed away officially. He's bringing that up on the pay-per-view.
That's horrible,
Eh,
man.
absolutely hard. I mean, the pay per view is kind of shot anyway. I haven't watched it really since then either. It's just, I mean, it's just a mess of a show, and everybody you can tell the energy, everything is just completely shot for the show. But an interesting thing that so many people bring up online, like from a legal standpoint, could Vince have even canceled the show? People always bring that up. Is that like even a thought or no? Because
I
people
don't
throw that
I
out online that he
I don't
can't cancel the show
I
legally
don't
because he's got the pay per view provider.
I don't think so, bro. Think about that, bro. Would anything have stood up in a court of law under the circumstances? Come on, bro. Like
Probably not. Yeah.
I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that for a minute.
Yeah, it's one of the things people always say, "Oh, Vince was thinking about legal reasons and stuff like that." No,
Bullshit.
right?
Well, no way, bro. No way.
Like when you're doing the show, are you like, is it just you don't even care about the rest of the show kind of thing once you guys hear this news?
Bro, you're emotionless. You're nothing's working. Like not your brain is not working. You're a like I said, bro, you're Stefford wives. You're going through the motions. You're it's like your body is disconnected from your brain. I mean, that's what it was like, bro. I never had that feeling before or since.
Do you remember where you were? Like, are you still working with guys on promos or
Oh yeah, I'm
like I know
doing
you
my
said Shane
job.
McMahon came up to you. Oh, you just
Yeah,
literally have to continue on.
absolutely, bro. We've got a script. Vince says the show's going on. I gotta go according to what we've got written down. Absolutely.
So then we have The Rock trying to cut a promo. Triple H attacks him in the back. Mankind tries to make a save, but Triple H and China lay him out too, which leads to the next match The Rock versus Triple H with China. The Rock defeats Triple H via disqualification, about 11 minutes, 40 seconds. Some China interference going on. Not a great match between these two. Not bad, but just not a great match. Again, lack of energy, I'm sure, from a lot of guys. They would have a lot of other better matches together, but this is kind of like the start, almost not really start of their feud, but really kind of the start of their main event feud together.
Yeah.
Like this is like them really. I know Rock has been world champion before, but this is Triple H coming into his own, and The Rock really kind of solidifying himself as like the other top star outside of Austin.
Well, bro, you gotta remember too. I don't know if people realize this or not. Rock was super close with Owen. Super close. I mean, if you ask me who were the two people this absolutely affected the most that were there, it was Jeff and Rock. I mean, without a shadow of doubt, Rock was super, super close with Owen.
After the match, they continue the brawl. China and Triple H try to take out The Rock. Doesn't work. Mankind does end up making the save. Definitely coming along with the Mankind Rock storyline, like the two unlikely
Right.
heroes. Like, why would Rock be friends with this guy? Why are these
Yeah.
two buddies? It's kind of starting basically that.
Yeah. The Rock and Sock connection. Yes.
Yes. Is that your idea, the Rock and Sock? Is that all you?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, bro, like I said, man, when you go organic, this stuff writes itself. So when you're seeing these two characters interact and you're seeing something is there, then you just go with it.
So Rock and Sock will not start here, but you kind of seen the tease of the start
Yeah,
of Rock and Sock here. So
absolutely. Yeah.
do you like doing that as a writer? Like just dropping little seedlings and then kind of see where it goes and build it up?
Absolutely, bro. You're constantly doing that, man. Again, bro, it's like you got 104 shows, with SmackDown and Raw, then you got the 12 paper. Bro, you're looking at 116 shows. So you're looking for, you know, every possibility. I mean, you're looking at everything and looking for these seeds to sprout. That's why you create moments and stuff like that, because you don't know what it's going to turn into and where it's going. Who knew when freaking Mick pulled that sock out in the hospital room? Who knew where that was going? And again, bro, you're going to write the next 3 to 6 months and not know about Mr. Sacco. That's why it's very important, bro, to just let this thing organically grow.
Then we have a recap of Shane McMahon joining the corporation with the ministry, creating the corporate ministry with what we think is Shane at the top of the food chain there as the leader, but we'll come to find out in the next couple of weeks that he is not. It's Vince, and obviously that's the tease for the higher power and everything coming up. But so Vince is injured, quote unquote. He's broke his ankle. He won't be able to referee this match. So it's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Undertaker for the WWF World Championship. Just Shane as the guest referee. Pat Patterson tries to make his way down and say he'll be the guest referee instead of Vince. Undertaker beats him up during the match as they brawl all over the place and have this crazy brawl and this crazy match. Gerald Briscoe will come down and say he's the other referee. Undertaker beats him up too. So Shane again is by himself as the referee. Vince hobbles down with that broken ankle, tries to make his way down and basically get involved in the match as well. It seems like he kind of messes up, a bit and kind of gets in the way, but it's not obvious. So it's like a very subtle way he kind of gets involved and kind of screws it up, not revealing anything quite yet, but he basically it kind of inadvertently is going to end up screwing Austin. Like Austin stunners Undertaker, he's going to win. Shane, gets him out of there, saves him. Then kind of Austin gets knocked into Vince, which makes Austin kind of turn around and get schoolboyed, and Shane gives the kind of quick 3 count, and Undertaker will win the title. So Undertaker defeated Austin in 23 minutes to win the WWF Championship. Felt like a cluster. It was almost too much going on, too much
Yeah,
interference. The
sounds
Vince
like it.
thing was like I don't know, it's kind of goofy, but it was he basically kind of costed Austin inadvertently and pretending that he had nothing to do with it. He didn't know what happened. He didn't know what's going on. And Shane and Undertaker got their way. And basically, the finish is what Vince, if the heel Vince really wanted anyway. But Shane and Undertaker super happy. Undertaker is a new champ. Do you think it's too much of a cluster? All this
It,
Patterson, Briscoe, Vince,
it's
Shane, too much.
it sounds like it, bro. I mean, again, I have not, I've not seen any of this since that day, and I mean, I won't. I can't watch this, but yeah, it does sound like there may have been a little much. Yeah,
Crazy that it's just like a forgotten show. Obviously, with
yeah.
all good reasons for it, but it's just a completely forgotten show. But storyline wise, it's almost like okay, Undertaker's the world champ. Austin loses, but there wasn't a lot of momentum for Undertaker to be champ. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody wanted to see Austin lose. Sometimes like, okay, oh, he loses the title, then the chase is cool. At this point, I felt like he didn't have it long enough for there to be another chase for the title. It was weird. It almost felt like too quick of a title change here.
Well, where did we go from here?
He will end up getting the title back eventually from Undertaker in a little bit, but the higher power, it's all a ruse. Vince really did help Shane and Undertaker win the title. It's all a ruse. He just wanted to get the title away from him. It wasn't Stephanie it wasn't Shane and Undertaker that kidnapped Stephanie. It was Undertaker and Vince and Shane. Like it was all kind of a ruse that he's like this big heel, but then it leads to Austin versus Vince and Shane again. There's kind of no real finish to that. Then Austin wins the title again. It just, I don't know. It just felt like it kind of lose, even though the crowd and the ratings didn't affect it. Just felt like it lost some momentum with the Austin losing the title and then winning it back eventually a few months later.
Yeah, no, that's interesting, bro. And again, I just wish I could really, really remember the specifics of why. Because again, bro, we're not just writing out our ass. I mean, all these things that discuss, we're going back and forth. There was a reason why we did everything, but it's just so hard to remember the absolute specifics of these things. Now, when I go back and like I said, John, when I watch a lot of the Attitude Era, like once I see it, I remember all this stuff. But when we're talking about just the pay-per-view, and I haven't seen the lead-in up to it in quite a while, it's just hard to remember the specifics.
So Undertaker is your new WWF champion. The corporate ministry is on top of the business. Vince is pissed, quote unquote. I mean, obviously it's a part of the storyline, and Shane is very happy. So Undertaker, as lead heel, as lead dog, as the top of the food chain here, top of the company as champion. Do you like heel Undertaker here, or this corporate, this satanic Undertaker character?
Bro, I got to be honest with you, man. When people talk about like my writing and stuff, I get this all the time more than anything. They love the ministry. I swear to God, bro, I get that so much. And I'm always like, I really didn't. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like
Really?
I
Wow.
don't I never thought the ministry was like a great thing. Now Taker going to put Stephanie on the symbol and Austin making the save. There was stuff in it I really liked, but I get so much feedback, bro, on the ministry, and I'm like, I wasn't that crazy about it when we were writing it. Bro, maybe like I said, when I go back now and I watch these episodes on Russo's brand, maybe I'll feel differently about it. But at the time, it wasn't my favorite angle or storyline. I mean, I much more enjoyed, Rock and Mick. This was not my favorite thing.
Undertaker, obviously part of the corporate ministry here, gets beat up, but not beat up, but like Austin fends off the corporate ministry kind of by himself to end the show, and basically, not go home happy because he lost the title, but kind of fends them off, and he's pissed that he
Yeah.
just lost the title. But Undertaker obviously one upped him here as he's the champ. I liked Undertaker. I thought he was great, and I thought the ministry was cool, like demonic, that kind of thing. I just didn't particularly think that maybe he needed a title at this point, and I just thought it was weird that he was with Shane and the corporation. It almost felt like overkill. It was like almost like too
Yeah.
much, too many heels.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing, man. We do these shows, and then, I look forward to going back and looking at the buildup. Bro, like I just watched the episode where Kane and Taker broke Vince's leg. Bro, like I would not have remembered that at all. Like at all. If you would have asked me, Vince, how did Vince wind up in a wheelchair? I would not have been able to tell you, bro. So that's why when I go back and I watch this stuff, it really jars a lot of stuff. And then I remember, oh, okay, that's why we did it.
Obviously, everyone's going to say this is a terrible show. It's horror, like impossible, horror, like really, really hard to rank this show and rate this show and say, "Oh, did you like it? Thumbs up, thumbs down." I mean, it's impossible. It's like
Yeah.
almost automatic thumbs down. Just there's no energy. I mean,
Yeah.
everything is sucked out of the show because of the Owen incident. It's just
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally get it, man.
Now, I just want to bring this one final thing up before we hit the plugs here. Did you see that the Vice people said that you in the WCW documentary said "bro" 353 times during your interview
Yeah,
with
I
them? Did
saw
you
that,
see that?
bro. I saw that graphic yesterday, and I'm like, what? What? It was my face in 353, and I'm like, I had no idea what it was. I'm like, what the frick is that? An area code? Like, I didn't even know what it was. Then I saw later on, bro. 4 hours is a long time. So how many times is that an hour? That's 90 times an hour.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
90 times an hour is what, bro? That's 45 minutes, a half hour. 23 minutes, 15 every 23 every 15. That's a lot of, yeah, that is a lot of
Do
bros.
you care that
Bro,
they did that? Do you feel like they're trying to make fun of you a little bit?
no,
Like,
I
what do
don't.
you think?
I could care. I got pissed off yesterday, bro, because somebody actually suggested like bros of work. Like I do it on purpose. Like somebody, I'm like, well, bro, like why would I freaking do that? It's a bad habit. It's a very very bad habit. But I'm surely not working the bros. Like that's. I'm sorry, man. That's just part of the habit, man. I don't, and like I said, I'm not even the king of bros. I think freaking Paige outbros me.
Oh yeah,
Without a shadow of a doubt, I think but it's just I don't even know where it came from or how it started. But I'm certainly not freaking working it, bro. Like I'm not that to me is absolutely ridiculous. So somebody said, "Oh, bro, how embarrassing! Your work. Why would I work that? Like it doesn't even make any sense to me. That just comes out in my everyday speech. Some people, bro, when they talk, every other word's an F bomb. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just my speech pattern, bro. But I didn't work it. But no, that didn't piss me off.
I saw somebody said, "How are you a good writer if you can't not say bro?" I didn't know the correlation, but they were saying that that's got to be affecting your writing. They were trying to make a correlation between you saying bro too much and your writing of
How
wrestling.
how does that affect my
I don't
writing?
know. Do you think it does? Do you think it gets in your head?
Absolutely,
Like you write
absolutely.
bro on the script, like, hey, this guy
That's
said
that. Well, first of all, bro, when I'm writing on a script, I'm not writing for me.
right.
Okay, if I'm writing the Vince Russo character, that's one thing. When I'm writing for other characters, I'm not writing my dialect for other characters. That makes absolutely no sense.
So you'd be like, I want Booker T to be the world champion, bro, and
Yeah,
versus
I
Jeff
mean,
Jarrett, bro. Yeah.
if that were me,
Yeah.
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 I
But
wonder
you're
if
not
there's
writing bro on a script.
yeah, bro. I don't think there's any bro. Are there any bros during the bash at the beach?
Not that I can recall. Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I don't think so. You were fired up.
Yeah, bro. Do you know? Do you know? Regardless of what you may think, bro. Do you know how many arguments I get with people on a weekly basis when they ask me who was the greatest wrestler of all time?
Really? Who is it and why are they arguing with you?
It's I say Hogan without a
Oh
shadow of a
God, yeah.
doubt.
Yeah,
Like,
by
bro,
far.
if you don't say Hogan, you didn't watch that era.
Yep.
You couldn't have watched that era. And I get arguments all the time, and a lot of people, bro, like it's always Austin. And I'm like, no, bro, you don't understand. Austin may have never happened if it wasn't for Hulk.
Yep.
And I truly believe if your answer to that isn't Hulk without even thinking about it, you weren't watching back then. I mean, it's that simple. This guy brought wrestling into the mainstream and pop culture, bro. There may have never been a Steve Austin without Hulk.
Yep.
But it blows my mind how people argue with me over that. And then I just wind up saying, bro, how I always say, how old are you? And when they tell me how old, I'm like, okay, bro, obviously you didn't live through that period of time and you just don't know.
Right. And Austin, I love Austin, and I don't mind when people say that, but I'm just like Hogan's first title run was longer than Austin's whole run. So let's calm it
Uh,
down a little bit, people. Come on.
I'm
Yeah.
telling, bro, people just didn't see it. They didn't see
Yeah.
it. They don't
Exactly.
understand it, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean, literally mainstream. Just like not
Mainstream. Absolutely.
everybody knows.
Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely, bro.
Crazy. So
Yeah.
let's hit the plugs. You follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Two Man Power Trip. Vince, what do you got?
Yeah. I'm just going to tell you guys again, if you've never been a Patreon member, if you go to patreon.com/Russo TWC right now, you can get a free week of the brand. It will cost you absolutely nothing. We broadcast every day, bro. You could hear a sampling of all our shows. Patreon.com/Russo TWC.
All right. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. We'll see you right back here next time. Have a good one, folks.